As the feds get closer, things get grosser. The probe into Hunter's questionable income practices expands, targeting his Ukrainian dealings, China, and potential money laundering. Fox News obtained emails in which Hunter asked that keys be made for his new office mates for a shared space with a Chinese energy firm's emissary. The mates, his dad Joe, his fun Uncle Jim, and Dr. Jill Biden. It's always good to have a medical professional on staff. So this stinks like a day-old diaper in a Red Lobster dumpster. And it makes you wonder how much longer the pathetic media will pretend that there's nothing to see here. Let's note the contrast between an investigation into someone they hate versus someone they love. First, the dossier.
The dossier has been corroborated by the intelligence community.
The dossier, in fact, is far from bogus.
So far, nothing in the dossier has been disproved.
Increasingly, it's the accurate dossier.
What a bunch of dopes. Now, Hunter.
We do know that this is a classic example of the right-wing media machine.
Talking about the Biden's personal corruption, a little bit about Hunter Biden. Most of those charges unverified.
Peddling baseless conspiracy theories about Joe Biden and his son.
As you know perfectly well, I'm a journalist and a reporter, and I follow the facts. And there has never been any issues in terms of corruption.
If you got to point out that you're a journalist, you're not. It's worth noting, since the Hunter evidence is actually real, no one paid for a phony dossier and then had the media pass it around like a crack pipe, so it got re-verified by other jackasses. Do you remember that trick? You know, if one hack shares it with another, suddenly two sources are getting high together. They did this for 4 years and still got nothing but dumber. Meanwhile, Hunter wasn't going rogue, but working for Joe to secure millions for him after 50 years of sniffing hair. Except Hunter didn't factor in Joe not retiring. Whoops. Now Hunter's left holding the bag, wondering if jail gets seamless. No wonder Obama asked Joe, "Are you sure you want to do this?" But sadly, China now has Joe over a barrel filled with a lot of dirt. And what a relief for Xi after 4 years of dealing with Trump, who had China's number and fought on our behalf instead of chasing popularity. No wonder China can't wait for the inauguration. Neither can Joe. I mean, a lot can happen in 6 weeks. We went to Kamala for comment. So, Joe Biden officially reached the threshold. I think they're talking about the Electoral College and not actually entering a room. Do you want me to read this now? Some breaking news. California putting President-elect Joe Biden over the edge. I was trying to do that. He now has passed 270 Electoral College votes. Yippee! The next major step will be on January 6th when Congress has to confirm the results. This is so exciting. So, Jesse, I love the media mocking us for covering this too much. I think we have do we have a tweet from a CNN media guy? He's often consumed by Fox. I don't know if we have it. If we don't, I'll just keep talking and looking at your beautiful hair. I love this part. Fox News led this hour with more fallout from Hunter Biden investigation. This is from Brian Stelter, who then says Fox has a big problem with portion control. You know, I'm just going to let that go. I'm going to let that go, Jesse. I'm not going to think terrible thoughts. I am just going to say they had portion control problems with the collusion and everything else. You take it away. I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, they were gluttonous with collusion, Gutfeld, and I, too, am not going to make any fat jokes. I refrained from that in 2020, and I'm going to stick to it. It is funny, though. So Joe Biden shares his office with a Chinese communist for 3 years. So for 3 years, he puts the key in the door, he opens the door, and he walks past a Chinese guy's office, and the nameplate says something Dong is the guy's name. And then he just walks to his office and closes the door and sits down. Hey, Hunter, who's the Chinese guy named Dong we're sharing an office with? Oh, nobody, Dad. He's a Chinese communist. He represents the ExxonMobil of China. Don't worry about it. We're going to hold 10 for you. I mean, how has a reporter not asked Joe, hey, Joe, did you ever go to your office? And while you were there, did you see Dong? That would seem like a pretty relevant question, besides the question which someone still has not asked, have you ever met Tony B? So let me get this straight, Joe. We have Hunter Biden, son of the president, president-elect now, I guess you have to call him. He goes over to a foreign country, brings home $500,000, hides it from the IRS, spends it on escorts instead, then gets pregnant at an escort at a dancer, and then when she says, can you pay me some child support, he says, no, I'm broke, and he fights it. This makes Don Jr. look like an angel. Don Jr. turned over everything. I mean, he sat for hours of deposition, handed over thousands of documents, and Hunter and his uncle, James, are stiff-arming congressional investigators. And Joe, meanwhile, says, I never talked to Hunter about business. He wasn't making any money in China. Everything was clean in Ukraine, and this was all Russia disinformation. All of that was a lie. Greg, who would have thought a lifelong politician with a history of plagiarism and family grifting could be so dishonest?
I don't know. Juan, you got COVID, a virus from China. Isn't that enough to impeach Joe Biden?
I don't know. Somebody should pay a price, though. I'd be all for that because it's hell. You know what? I've been listening, and I just think to myself, we don't know how bad this is going to get for Hunter Biden. We just don't know. But I do think that President Trump is wrong to be going after Bill Barr, the Attorney General, and saying, oh, he should have disclosed this during the election. To my mind, Bill Barr was acting in accordance with the law. And so what you get now is President Trump, who has his own tax problems and whose kids have their own tax problems, trying to put the onus and the focus on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Well, there's no indication that Joe Biden has any role in this at all. And with regard to Hunter Biden, I think that we all have to understand that Hunter, he didn't share. Look, they talked about keys. I don't think that he was actually there. I don't know that. I just think it's wrong to take shots at people involved in law enforcement. I don't think that was his office, Jesse, but it's I'll leave that because I don't know for sure. But I'm just saying that it looks to me like, Trump has no regard for even an ally, even one of his most stalwart allies, Bill Barr, because all that Trump cares about is getting reelected. He didn't care about the law or about how this country works or the fact that we are not a country of men, but a country of laws, and it protects us all.
Very sexist, Juan, men and women. Dana, this could be the biggest scandal of all time. The biggest scandal of all time, and the media is ignoring it.
Worse than Watergate. You got to believe it.
Yes.
You got to believe it. You know, I do think that the Biden transition team is dealing with two heaping scoops of problems going into their transition. One is that all of these other stories, the Electoral College fight, the vaccine, and also Hunter Biden in a way, that is masking the fact that they've not had a great rollout of their nominees for the federal government. And in fact, the progressives are quite unhappy, and I think there's going to be some difficulty going forward for them there. And then you have to wonder if you were the communications people for the Biden team, every day you think, how in the world did I go through the whole day and not get asked about this story? Wow, I must be a very lucky person.
Emily, you're an attorney. Hunter Biden is an attorney. What say you?
I hope you're not insinuating something, Greg. I will say this. So as we learn that U.S. Attorney John Durham is expanding his team, right, in the investigation into the Russia collusion origin probe, it's a reminder to us all how long investigations take, especially ones that span multiple jurisdictions and aren't just about tax affairs, but are actually involving complex foreign transactions and foreign powers. So two things come to mind for me about this. In addition to that reminder, I've seen the government take 5 years to investigate one count of tax evasion. So the two things are, one, the duty and the power of the media, Greg and Dana, to your points about it. And secondly, the fact that while this investigation, these multiple investigations play out, how crucial it is that there is a highlight on either conflicts of interest with now President-elect Joe Biden or the perceived conflicts of interest with him in this upcoming administration, because I think we have to know or resign ourselves to the fact that other than us, the mainstream media won't do it.
All right. I think the real scandal is my shirt. This collar is just too big for this sweater. And I feel like the flying nun just doesn't feel right today, and it's affecting my performance.